Your Honor, there's, I'm not sure if Rasha Griggs is on. I have a couple of iPhones in the waiting room, and I'm not sure who they are.
If you just want to let everyone in, that will be fine.
Okay.
As you come into the chat, please turn your devices to mute and type your full name and your email address in the chat. Send it to FPMC.
Por favor, active su cámara y mantenga su micrófono apagado. En el chat va a colocar su correo electrónico y su nombre completo y se lo va a mandar a FPMC.
Again, as you come into virtual court, please type your full name and your email address in the chat and send it to FPMC.
De nuevo, asegúrese de colocar su correo electrónico y su dirección y su nombre completo en el chat y se lo manda a FPMC. Y mantenga su micrófono apagado.
Let me go over the rules of virtual court.
Voy a explicar las reglas de cómo llevamos a cabo la sesión virtual.
First, this is a formal court setting.
Primero que nada, este es un ambiente de corte oficial y legal.
It is simply being handled in a virtual setting.
Simplemente que lo estamos haciendo virtualmente, pero es como si estuviera presente en el tribunal.
As a convenience to you.
Para hacerlo más conveniente para usted.
This proceeding is being recorded.
Este proceso lo están grabando.
And this proceeding is being live streamed.
Y este proceso lo están también poniendo en vivo, en vivo.
Because court settings are public settings, everyone has the opportunity to watch and observe what's going on.
Debido a que todos los procesos legales en un tribunal son públicos, todo el mundo tiene derecho a poder ver lo que está ocurriendo y qué está pasando en esa audiencia.
This is a professional setting.
Este es un ambiente profesional.
Please ensure that your background does not distract this court proceeding.
Por favor, asegúrese que el trasfondo no está siendo algo para que distraiga a las personas que estamos aquí en el proceso de audiencia virtual.
Please ensure that there are no distractions in your background.
Asegúrese que no haya ningún tipo de distracción en el trasfondo.
Please ensure that you are not operating a car at the time of the proceeding.
Asegúrese que usted no está manejando o conduciendo un carro en el momento que está haciendo esta audiencia virtual.
Please ensure that your video stays on at all times.
Y asegúrese que el video está prendido todo el tiempo.
Please remove any hats or other coverages on your head unless they are there for religious reasons.
Por favor, asegúrese de quitarse cualquier tipo de sombrero, cualquier tipo de cosas que se pongan en la cabeza, a menos de que estén ahí por una razón religiosa.
If you are in a residence, please ensure that you are not laying down.
Asegúrese que se tenga una vivienda y que usted no está acostado cuando estamos haciendo esta audiencia virtual.
Or in any other setting that is not conducive to a court setting.
O que se encuentre en algún otro ambiente donde no sea el apropiado para llevar a cabo una audiencia virtual en un tribunal.
Also, please ensure that you are dressed appropriately for a court setting.
También asegúrese que usted está vestido debidamente para este ambiente profesional de estar en un tribunal.
Please understand if any of the rules of virtual court are violated.
Entienda que si alguna de estas reglas de la audiencia virtuales no se cumple con ella,
we will terminate your virtual setting and you will be required to come to court in person.
vamos a terminar su sesión virtual y se le va a exigir de que venga en persona a terminar el proceso aquí al tribunal.
Everyone, please ensure that your name and your email address is typed in the chat and sent to FPMC.
Y todos, por favor, asegúrense de que su nombre completo y su correo electrónico se los escribe en el chat y se los manda a FPMC.
Please keep your device on mute until your name is called.
Por favor, mantenga su micrófono desactivado, apagado, hasta que se diga su nombre.
We are going to handle attorney cases first, and then we will get to the trial calendar.
Vamos a encargarnos de los casos primero que tienen abogado y después vamos a hacer la lista de casos que están aquí para juicios.
Mr. Prosecutor, you want to go ahead and call the first matter?
Judge, we were going to go through Attorney Stinson's cases. I believe the first one on the calendar. Oh, actually, let me make sure that we make an announcement for the witness on the Chu matter that we just released. Is there Sadiq Butler on the call? Sadiq Butler, if you're logged on, take your microphone off and respond. Okay, I'm not hearing any announcement, Judge, in case they log in later on. So I
Okay.
believe the first one of Mr. Stinson's cases is Chastity Barnett. And that was supposed to be a plea.
All right. Is Ms. Barnett?
Yes, right here.
All right. Mr. Prosecutor, can you please outline the terms and conditions of the plea?
I'm going to defer that to Mr. Stinson.
All right.
You're on mute. Mr. Stinson, you're on mute.
Thank you. Judge, the solicitor made the standard recommendation for a fine on each of the 5 charges. On the big 3, Ms. Barnett is eligible for a no-low plea. Since our last court session, she has, just a quick background, she was in transition from California through Georgia to Florida, and that caused a lot of these issues. Since our last court date, she has provided me documentation that her car is legally registered and insured in Florida, and she does have a valid driver's license. And we would ask you to take that into consideration in the imposition of fines. And we would ask for at least 24 months probation, with the condition that it terminate upon the payment of all the fines.
All right. Okay, so let me go down the listing of the fine amounts. On the speeding charge, it is a non-reportable offense. That fine amount is $165. The failure to maintain insurance, that fine amount is $595. The possession of marijuana, that fine is $180. The driving on suspended license, that fine is $795. I'm going to reduce that to expired license because you said she's taking care of that. Is this the first offense, Mr. Stinson?
Yes.
All right, and then the suspended registration will be reduced to expired tag, and that fine amount is $500. So the total fine is $165 plus $595 plus $180 plus $795 plus $500. That makes her total fine $2,235. And this was a court-appointed matter, is that correct?
That is correct, Judge.
Okay. So, Ms. Barnett, are you prepared to go forward with the plea as outlined by Attorney Stinson?
Yes.
It's my understanding that you are entering a no-low plea to all of the charges. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Are you entering this plea with the assistance of a lawyer?
Yes.
Do you understand that by entering into this plea that you are waiving your right to a trial?
Yes.
Are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And do you believe it is in your best interest to enter into this plea?
Yes.
At the time of Attorney Stinson's appointment, the city intimated that it might seek restitution for the court-appointed fees. That amount could not exceed $250. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If the court were to award that, that would be added to your fine balance. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you have any objection to the sum of $250 being added to the fine balance?
No.
That will bring your total fine, including restitution, to $2,485. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You will be placed on probation for 24 months. You will be placed on pay-only probation. Once the fine is paid, your probation can end. Do you understand that?
Yes. Could you tell me the total one more time?
$2,485.
Okay.
While on probation, you must comply with all terms and conditions. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And you understand that if you violate the terms of your probation, you can be brought before the court on a probation revocation calendar. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you have any questions you'd like to ask me regarding the sentence of this court?
No, I do not.
Have you typed your name and email address in the chat and sent it to FPMC?
Yes.
Forest Park, do we have her information?
Yes, we have it.
All right, you will receive through your email by close of business tomorrow your plea form, to which you will enter a NOLO plea. You will also receive your probation form that outlines everything that took place, and they will provide information for you to get in contact with the probation department here in Forest Park. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Attorney Stinson, is there the factual basis to support the charges?
There is, Judge.
Okay, I want to go down the charges again just to be sure they're recorded correctly on the probation form. We have a speeding charge. We have a failure to maintain insurance. We have possession of marijuana, which is a city ordinance violation. We have the driving on suspended license being reduced to expired license. And we have the suspended registration charge being reduced to expired tag. Do we have that, Ms. Payton?
Yes, we have it.
All right, do we have that, Ms. Yates? Great.
Yes.
All right, that will conclude the matter with Ms. Barnett. You can disengage from the call, and thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Who do you want to go to next, Mr. Prosecutor?
That would be Robbie Berry.
Is Robbie Berry on the line?
Your Honor, she was here with me in the courtroom. She's being reset. So
Okay.
Stinson released her.
Okay, and you got all her information. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, then next it looks like it is Dante Bradford.
Judge, that's gonna be a request for reset, and I will get with the court. I reset that case last time for the video. They sent it to me, but their links expire in 7 days, not 30, so I didn't get to it in time.
Okay, that matter will be reset. Next will be Ashley Phaeton.
It's gonna be a reset.
That matter will be reset.
I think Ms. Peyton may be on the line.
Ms.
Yes,
Phaeton?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, your matter is being reset to give you time to speak with Attorney Stinson. Do you have his contact information?
No, I don't.
All right.
We will make
Um,
sure that you receive it.
And
And I
can
have
you-
her email address.
Okay. Do you have her cell phone number as well? Do you have her telephone number?
I do not.
All right, Ms. Phaeton, will you please type into the chat your cell phone number and send it to FPMC, and it will be forwarded to Attorney Stinson.
Okay.
And have you typed your email information and your name in the chat as well?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Your
I got
matter
that,
is going
Judge.
to be reset once you've done that.
I received her phone number.
All right, next is, you can disengage, Ms. Phaeton.
Thanks.
Next is Rasha Griggs.
Judge, that's going to be a plea. The
Is Griggs on the line?
She is.
All right. What is the negotiated plea terms?
Judge, first, I just need to clarify, there appears to be two cases on this morning's calendar. One for the
I
DUI
think
and
it's
improper
a
link.
duplicate. It's a
Okay,
duplicate, so it's just
All right.
ticket. Yeah.
Judge, this is first in life. The recommendation was 12 months probation, credit for time served, 40 hours community service, drug and alcohol evaluation, risk reduction, no drugs and alcohol, and random screens, and then $150 fine on the improper lane change.
Okay.
And the standard fine for, I think, $16.95 on the DUI.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Ms. Griggs? Ms. Griggs? Rasha Griggs?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Do you have your video turned on?
Yes.
All right.
Can you hear me?
All right, Ms. Griggs, do you understand through counsel that you're entering a guilty plea to the DUI and the lane change charge?
Yes.
Do you understand that you're entering this plea with the assistance of a lawyer?
Yes.
Do you also understand that by entering into the plea that you are waiving your right to a trial?
Yes.
Are you entering into this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And do you believe it is in your best interest to enter into the plea?
Yes.
Attorney
Right.
Stinson, is there a factual basis that supports these charges?
There is, Judge.
All right. The court will accept your plea, Ms. Griggs. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The fine on the DUI is $1,695. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The fine on the lane change charge is $150. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You do understand at the time of Attorney Stinson's appointment, the city did intimate that it might seek restitution for the court-appointed fees. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That amount cannot exceed $250. Do you understand that?
No, I'm confused.
Excuse me?
No, I'm confused. What does that mean?
All right. At the time that Attorney Stinson was appointed to represent you, the city had the right to seek restitution for his legal services, but that amount cannot exceed $250. Do you understand that?
Okay, yes.
All right. If the court were to award that, that would be added to your fine balance, which would mean it would be the $1,845 plus $250. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That would bring your total balance up to $2,095. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. Do you have any objection to Attorney Stinson's fees being added to your fine balance?
I guess not. What happens with my license?
What happens with your what?
My license.
We're going to get to that as we get through the plea, but first I want to be sure that you understand what the nature of the fine amount is and the fine balance and how it's calculated.
Yes.
So do you understand that if the court awards that $250, it will be added to your fine balance? Do you understand that?
Yes.
And that would bring your total balance up to $2,095. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. Young lady, you will be placed on probation for 12 months. Do you understand that?
Yes.
12 months of your probation will be mandatory. Do you understand that? While on probation, you must complete 40 hours of community service during the first 120 days. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
I need for you to speak up.
Yeah, my phone is kind of broken.
Do you also understand that you must complete a drug and alcohol evaluation? And if treatment is recommended, you must partake of that treatment. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you also understand that while on probation, you must complete a risk reduction course within the first 120 days? Do you understand that?
Yeah, I already completed it.
Well, you can turn that into probation. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right. Do you also understand that while on probation, you must abstain from the consumption of alcohol and non-prescribed drugs, and probation will perform random alcohol and drug screens? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
And do you also understand that you are eligible for what's called a first DUI conviction affidavit, which means your license will go into suspension effective today, but you will be given an affidavit that will entitle you for eligibility for a limited driving permit. Do you understand that?
Yeah. Oh, I had already, well, no, I don't understand that. I had already completed everything that was required for my suspension.
Okay, Judge, there are some special circumstances with her license. She's, because of the age of this case, she's already gotten, she's done an alternate program that the DDS has. So what I would ask the court to do is just to issue the affidavit of first conviction, because she should be eligible to get reinstated now because of everything she's already done.
Okay. Well, I just want her to be aware that from my end, the license are being suspended. You will receive your affidavit, Ms. Griggs, and you will go to the Department of Driving Services, and it'll be their determination as to whether or not you need a limited driving permit or your full driving privileges will be reinstated. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you understand that, Ms. Griggs?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any questions that you want to ask me regarding the disposition of your case today?
No.
All right. Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yeah.
Ms. Yates, do we have her information?
Yes.
All right. Then, Ms. Griggs, you can disengage from the call. That will conclude the adjudication of your case today. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's go to the next matter, which is
Judge Freeman,
Eddie
that was my
Hand.
only case.
You can, if that's your only case, Officer Arnold, you are excused as well.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Eddie Hand. Eddie Hand. All right, Attorney Stinson.
Judge, I've been in contact with him and his family. I'm not sure why he's not here. I would ask for a reset. Mr. Hand is an older gentleman, and I've been talking through the technical aspects with his family. The last time he actually appeared in court.
Okay.
I see that he's logged on, but however, his screen is on mute and, well, his screen is off and his video is turned off and he's on mute.
Okay. Why don't we just go to the next one and maybe
Okay.
we'll get this resolved. Next is Corvez Harris.
Judge, that's I'm asking for a reset.
All right, is Mr. Harris on the line?
He is.
Okay, Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris.
Yes, sir.
Your matter will be reset. You will be notified of your reset date. Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes, sir.
Do we have Mr. Harris's email information, Ms. Yates?
Yes, Your Honor, we have it.
All right, then his case will be reset. Please make sure that you reach out to Attorney Stinson. Attorney Stinson, do you need any contact information for this gentleman?
No, we got all that this morning.
All right, wonderful. All right, you can disengage, sir. Next is James Scott. James Scott.
Judge,
Is
this was one,
Nathaniel Branscombe available? Nathaniel Branscombe.
Okay, who can see this?
Is
Trey
Nathaniel
Electra.
Branscombe. All right,
Judge, this was one that I have not been able to communicate with. The contact information I have, I've called, left message, and texted him, and I've gotten no response. So I don't know if I have bad contact or if he's just not cooperating.
Okay.
To my understanding, he was in court the last time. If we could check the courtroom, he might be.
Ms. Green, is James Scott there?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
I'll leave that up to your discretion, Judge.
It will, yeah. So when was Attorney Stinson appointed on this?
Judge, that was Judge, I want to say that was back in August,
Okay,
the 1st of August.
all right. And is this the first court date where you have been representing him?
Nope, I represented him on the August 31st calendar.
All right, then why don't we just put him on the, we will put him down on the trial calendar. And if he wants to come in and take a plea before then, you'll let us know.
All right, Judge.
All right. I don't know where he is today, but that's what, yeah. All right, next is Perry Shirley.
Judge, that's going to be a plea.
All right.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
What are the terms of this negotiated plea?
Judge, 1 second. Judge, this is a person life DUI. The recommendation was for standard fines on all the offenses, with the standard recommendation on the DUI.
Okay. All right. Okay, Mr. Shirley, it's my understanding through counsel that you're entering a guilty plea to all charges. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir, do you understand that by entering into the plea that you are waiving your right to a trial?
Yes, sir.
Sir, do you also understand that by entering into the plea, are you entering into this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And sir, do you believe it is in your best interest to enter into the plea to the 4 charges?
Yes, sir.
Sir, the total fine for all charges are $2,275. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. 2,000. Can you say that again?
$275.
Okay.
On the striking of fixed object, that fine is $250. Do you understand that?
You say on the fine, I'm striking the object?
Yes, that fine is, I'm giving you a breakdown now of the fines.
My insurance had took care of the property damage that I did. My insurance already had fixed that.
Okay, but this is the fine amount for the underlying ticket. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, that fine is $250. On the DUI charge, that fine is $1,695. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
On the marijuana charge, that fine is $180. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And on the lane violation, that fine is $150. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
That total fine is $2,275. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Attorney Stinson was appointed through the city of Forest Park. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
At the time of his appointment, the city intimated that it could seek restitution for the court-appointed fees, but that amount cannot exceed $250. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If the court were to award the $250, that would be added to your fine balance. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any objection to Attorney Stinson's fees being added to your fine balance?
No, sir.
All right, that will make your total fine balance $2,525. Do you understand that?
Can you repeat that again?
$2,525.
Okay.
All right. Now,
Yes,
you
sir.
will be placed on probation for 12 months. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
12 months of your probation will be mandatory. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you also understand that while on probation, you must complete 40 hours of community service within the first 120 days? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you also understand that you must complete a risk reduction course within the first 120 days? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you also understand that you must undergo random alcohol and drug screens? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you are to abstain from the consumption of alcohol and non-prescribed drugs? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you also understand that you must undergo a drug and alcohol evaluation? And if treatment is recommended, you must partake of that treatment. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, it's my understanding that you're eligible for a first DUI conviction affidavit. Upon my signing the order, your driver's license is suspended. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You will be given this affidavit, sir, and you can take it to the Department of Driving Services to determine your eligibility either for a limited driving permit or some other type of driving privilege. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Sir, do you have any questions you'd like to ask me?
I just want to know how I'm gonna go by when I need to go and take the drug class and stuff like that. Who I get with my probation officer.
The probation department will give you some referrals for all of those, and you can pick whichever one you'd like to pick.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.
Attorney Stinson, is there a factual basis that supports the 4 charges?
There is, Judge.
All right, the court will accept the plea. Mr. Shirley, have you typed your name and email address in the chat, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Yates, do we have his information?
Yes, we have it.
All right, Mr. Shirley, unless you have any questions, sir, you can disengage from the call and you will receive your information no later than close of business tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I really do apologize. My name is Ursula. I'm the daughter of Eddie Hand. I
All right,
have
we're
a
going to
vision
come back to
impaired.
that. We're going to come back to Mr. Hand, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Stinson, other than the hand matters, does that take care of all of your matters?
It does, Judge.
All right, now let's deal with Eddie Hand.
All right, Judge. What did I just? Mr. Hand, this is a person life DUI, driving on the wrong side of the road, and standard fine for both. Standard recommendation for the DUI and all state mandated requirements. And we'd ask for affidavit of first conviction. This is first life, first and 10.
All right. Mr. Hand? Eddie Hand.
Mr. Hand, you're on mute. Mr. Hand, you're on mute.
Okay. You.
Mr. Hand, it's my understanding you're entering a guilty plea to the DUI charge and the driving on the wrong side of the road. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Do you understand that by entering into the plea that you're doing this with the assistance of a lawyer?
Yes.
Do you also understand that by entering into the plea that you are waiving your right to a trial?
Yes.
Are you entering into the plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And do you believe it is in your best interest to enter into the plea?
Yes.
Attorney Stinson, is there a factual basis that supports the charges?
There is, Judge.
Mr. Hand, do you understand that Attorney Stinson was appointed through the city of Forest Park?
Yeah.
You understand at the time of his appointment, the city intimated that it might seek restitution for his legal fees. Do you understand that? Mr. Hand?
It appears that their screen is frozen.
Okay, why don't we, Attorney Stinson, why don't we set this up for in-person appearance for him?
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, all right, we will reset this and unless you just want to stay and see if he wants to log out and log back in.
I will get with the family and we'll get it rescheduled to appear in person.
Thank you. All right, we will do that one in person.
Judge, that concludes my business then. May I be excused?
You can, thank you.
All right, and I'll be in touch with the court to clear up all matters tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. All right,
Your Honor, may I make an announcement to see if anybody needs an
you
interpreter?
can. Go ahead, Ms. Ida.
Buenos días. ¿Alguna persona que necesite intérprete? Por favor, déjenos saber si necesita intérprete. ¿Alguna persona que necesite intérprete? Por favor, active su micrófono y déjenos saber si necesita intérprete o levante la mano. I guess it appears that nobody does, but I'll wait until you call the calendar, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yo necesito intérprete, yo soy Oscar.
Oscar Guillermo
Garibay.
Okay, Mr. Garibay needs an interpreter, Your Honor.
Okay. Let me go down the calendar. Alejandro Alvarez Vasquez.
Alejandro Álvarez Vázquez, por favor, active su micrófono si se encuentra presente.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, sir, what is your plea to the 4 charges?
I was trying to see if because I didn't get a chance to get an attorney. So like I was trying to see if I get
Are you able to hire one, or do you want us to see if you're eligible for the appointment of counsel?
I couldn't hire one, but I'm saying I could try if I could get like an attorney, like the one you're talking about.
Okay, listen to what I'm asking. Are you able to hire an attorney, or do you want the court to appoint you one?
Yeah, I could see if the court can appoint me one.
Okay.
To see if I qualify or.
Do you need an interpreter?
No, I speak English. I understand English. Yeah.
All right. We will appoint Attorney Michael Stinson on this matter.
Yes.
All right. Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
In the chat. I was trying to see where's.
Down at the bottom of your device, you should see the word chat, C-H-A-T. What is your email address?
I will put it in. It says Alvarez Alvarez Flaco 91 at gmail.com.
All right, do we have his email address?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Sir, you will receive the appointment of Attorney Stinson, and we will reset your case to give you time to speak with him.
Yes. So how do I get his contact number, or how do I?
They're
speak
going to
with him?
forward you all of that.
through my Gmail.
It's going to come through your email. That is correct.
Okay. I'll wait for it then, or I'm gonna see you like.
You will get it by close of business tomorrow. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now you understand that the city has the right to seek restitution for the court-appointed fees. That amount cannot exceed $250. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Then we will wait until your case is disposed of to see if the restitution amount of $250 or any amount will be imposed. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, I'm gonna just wait for the email, like you said, to see if
All
I can
right,
get
you will get the email by close of business tomorrow.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
All right. You can disengage from the call since we have your information.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Next. All right, Francis Anderson. Francis Anderson.
Here, I'm here.
Ms. Anderson, what is your plea to the two charges?
Not guilty.
All right, we will call your case for trial momentarily. Thank you. Derek Bostic. Derek Bostic. Derek Bostic. All right, this is FTA. It is now 8:59. Taiwan Bush. Taiwan Bush. This is FTA. James Carter. James Carter. FTA. Janelle Cody. Janelle Cody. FTA. Osegba Cokerson.
Yeah. Good morning, George. I'm here.
Good morning. What is your plea to the charge, young lady?
I'm not guilty.
Okay, we will call your case for trial momentarily, okay? Please make sure that everyone has their name and email address typed in the chat.
George, before you jump onto that, I wanted to see if there's an opportunity for mitigation, right?
We will deal with that when we call your case for trial, and I have sworn everyone in so that I can hear it under oath. Do you understand that?
Okay, Judge. Is it okay? So say, for example, sorry, I'm taking the time of the judge. Say, for example, I was going to go with guilty and say that I wanted to mitigate to talk about the tickets and the amount for the ticket. Will that be?
Well, let me say the amount of this charge is $200. So if you enter a guilty or a no-low plea, you'd have to pay the $200. If you are found not guilty, you do not have to pay anything. So the no-low plea will keep points from being assessed on your record if you are eligible. So I'm just kind of responding to you hypothetically because you're asking me a very general question.
Yeah, because I was just wondering how, because I know initially when I called to find out what the fine was, it was about $100. Now we're looking at $200.
Okay. So why don't you let me do this? Let me finish up the calendar. When I come back to you, then I can answer the other questions. But you have to understand that the fine amount carries with it the surcharges. Obviously entered a not guilty plea, so you're on a trial calendar today. So if you're not what you want to do, you can always ask that your case be bound over to Clayton County where you're eligible for a jury trial. Because here you will simply get a bench trial in front of me. Do you understand that?
Okay.
So you do have that option. And if you'd like to exercise it, that is fine. Do you understand that?
Okay, yeah, I'll go with the bench trial in front of you.
Okay, then we will leave you on the calendar. We'll call your case momentarily.
All right, thank you.
Keisha, no problem. Keisha Crockett,
Good morning.
good morning. You're charged with an expired tag. What is your plea to the charge?
Not guilty.
All right, the vehicle that you were driving, do you have some documentation showing that there was a valid tag on there?
Actually, Your Honor, I was on my way to get my admission so I could get my tags updated.
Okay.
So,
Well, let me ask you, is this car titled in your name?
it is.
Was it after your birthday?
It was not. It was before my birthday. My birthday's on the 12th, and this happened on the 5th.
And you're saying that this car is registered in your name?
Yes, sir. I no longer have the car, but it was registered in my name.
Okay, we'll look at the ticket on that. Something is a little weird about this. Let me ask you all, do you all have access to her registration information real quick? Ms. Yates and Ms. Payton?
As far as that date that the ticket was written, no.
Yeah,
But
I'm trying to see when is her birthday and who is this? What's the primary name that this car is registered in? The primary name.
Your Honor, give me 5 minutes. I can run to my office and do it.
Okay, then we'll come back to Ms. Crockett. Thank you. They'll research that for me.
Thank you.
Edward Edison. Edward Edison. PA. Ron Ellis.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Yeah, Mr. Ellis, what is your plea? Open alcohol container and the loitering charge, sir.
So I was appointed an attorney. I believe my attorney is Michael Stinson, so I'm not sure, but why I didn't get called. However, I was just—
Well, let me just first see if you were appointed, because I normally do not appoint an attorney unless it is a suspendable or a jailable offense. So first, let me see if an attorney has been appointed.
Yeah, and then you
Ms.
weren't the
Payton,
judge.
do we have any information in the file that shows he was appointed an attorney?
yes, he will be a reset.
Okay, this matter will be reset, sir. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, was Attorney Stinson appointed on this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then this matter will be reset. Mr. Ellis, do we have your email address and have you typed all of that in the chat?
Yes, sir.
All right, do we have that, Ms. Yates?
Yes.
All right, then Mr. Ellis, you can disengage and Attorney Stinson will get in contact with you.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Your Honor, Edison Edwards actually is here. You said Edward Edison. I just wanted to make sure you were saying the right name.
Okay, what is your plea to the two charges, sir?
Not guilty.
All right, the vehicle that you were operating, did it have a valid tag at the time that the officer stopped you?
It didn't have a valid tag, Your Honor, but I went to the Kroger's because the DMV was closed. They were not doing any tag registrations. And when I went to the machine, it printed out all my other vehicles. It printed out my motorcycle that I have and my two other vehicles. It didn't print out anything for the Honda. I got the ticket.
So let me ask you this, was this ticket issued before or after your birthday?
I can't honestly remember, Your Honor. That was 2 years ago.
All right, well, it looks like, when is your birthday?
February 23rd.
All right, so this was issued in April, so it was issued after your birthday. All right, I'm gonna put you down for not guilty and we'll come back and try your case, sir, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Can you please make sure the FTA is removed?
It
Please.
is, I'm doing it now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dante Francis. LaQuanisha Dante Francis. This matter is being bound over. Do we have that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Judge Freeman,
Yes.
I believe that attorney was trying to have that case bound over to Fulton County, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know where it took place, but if it took place in Clayton County, it can't be bound over to Fulton County.
I understand.
So a
Yes.
lot will have to do with where the incident took place, and you can look on the ticket. but if it's in Clayton County, it will need to be bound over to Clayton County.
I understand.
Okay, thank you. Oscar Gariba Lugo.
Oscar Garibay Lugo. Active su micrófono, señor Lugo.
Sí, dígame.
Okay. ¿Cómo
Can
se
you
va a
ask
declarar?
him what is his plea to the two charges, Ms. Ida? He's charged with the traffic control device and a tag obscure.
¿Cómo se va a declarar los dos cargos? Uno es por no obedecer una señal de tránsito y otro es por mantener la placa un poco oculta.
Inocente.
Not guilty.
All right, we will call his matter for trial momentarily.
Okay, le voy a llamar para un juicio en unos momentos.
Lori
Gracias.
Gaston.
Good morning, President.
Good morning, Ms. Gaston. What is your plea to the charge?
Not guilty.
All right, have you updated your address on your license?
No, I live where it's indicated. That's why it's not guilty.
So the address on your license is where you live?
Yes.
Okay, can someone pull the ticket and tell me what alternative address the police officer is relying on?
Wait a moment. On the citation, the officer had 1675-87 Conley. However,
What is your address, Ms. Gaston?
My address, first of all, that's a family property, the Conley one. That's the one that my sister and I had together. So it was a rental that I was headed to check on the day that I was issued the citation. But my residential address is 136 Kentwood Springs Drive. That is in Hampton, Georgia, 303228.
What address is on your license?
My address on my license is 136 Kentwood Springs Drive, Hampton, Georgia, 30228.
Can we look on the citation and confirm that that's the address on her license?
looking at the citation, that is not the same address. But as far as running her history, I see the 136 Kentwood Springs.
Okay, let me just talk with the officer and see what happened with this. We'll put you down for not guilty, Ms. Gaston, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Gary Nixon. Gary Nixon. FTA. Jenny Pedroza.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Pedroza. What is your plea to the stop sign violation?
Not guilty.
Thank you. We will call this matter for trial momentarily, okay?
Okay.
Arthur Smith.
Yes, sir.
All right, is Eric Conklin?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Smith, what is your plea to this charge, sir?
Not guilty.
Okay, we will call this matter for trial. We have the witness available. If both of you all will simply hold on. Sandy. Sandy Williams.
Yes,
Ms. Williams,
Present.
what is your plea to the disorderly house charge?
not guilty.
Thank
Can I explain, Your Honor?
Not now, Ms. Williams. When we
Okay.
come back and I have everyone to be sworn in, then you can explain, okay?
Okay, the other party, he didn't come to court for the first time. He was issued a FTA.
When you say the other party, what is the other party's name?
Daryl Champion,
Okay.
Daryl A. Champion.
Okay. Well, when we call the case, we don't have him down as a witness, but we will see what the officer has to say, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, thank you.
I just saw something in the chat regarding, and let me just, Mr. Prosecutor, did you see, let me look at this, hold on. Okay, so Mr. Prosecutor.
Sure.
Mr. Prosecutor.
It appears that he's frozen.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Let me, so let me go back to Ms. Anderson.
Judge, you hear me now?
I can hear you. It looks like Officer Morgan is not here and will not be here for a while. So I was going to see if your office wanted to dismiss some of these charges or continue them. He's not going to be here for quite a while. Can you hear me, Mr. Prosecutor?
Judge, let me look at the Anderson file. I can hear you fine, Judge. I don't know what. Can you
I'm
not see
sorry.
me?
What did you say?
All right, let me log out. I'm gonna log out. I was asking if you could hear me. I haven't
can, but it's a little
frozen
blurred.
here from.
I can hear
I'm gonna
you,
log out.
but it's blurred.
Okay, I'm gonna log out and then log.
Okay.
Ms. Anderson, could you please place yourself on mute?
Your Honor, will it be possible to take my case since I only have one?
Yes, let us get through these real quick with this officer.
Thank you.
Let me go to Francis Anderson.
Yes.
All right, these charges will be dismissed for want of prosecution. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes.
Can we confirm that Ms. Anderson's information is in the chat?
Yes, we have it.
All right, Ms. Anderson, you can disengage from the call.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Judge, I apologize for the issue with my connection.
That's okay. I went ahead and dismissed for want of prosecution Ms. Anderson's matter. The next one with Morgan is James Carter. Well, no, that's an FTA. I'm sorry. The next one is Keisha Crockett. Ms. Crockett.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have your date of birth on your registration as being August the 12th.
Correct.
Okay. So this offense date was issued before your birthday, which would have been August the 5th. So, Mr. Prosecutor, I think that ticket is defective.
Also, Your Honor, I was concerned because the officer parked a car length from the stop sign and ran my tag for no probable cause.
He doesn't have to have probable cause to run your tag. He has a what's called a tag reader, and they have the right to do that anytime they want to. By you being a citizen and having a driver's license, that's something that you agree to. So they do not have to have probable cause for that.
Oh, when I talked to the state troopers, they said they don't have that right to do that. And for him to be parked one car length from a stop sign in a predominantly Hispanic area during school hours, I think needs to be addressed. It's not serving the community.
Well, let me get you to do this because a lot of people assume that the judge has say-so over the police department. I don't. I only deal with court
I just wanted
services.
To record.
So I stay in my lane. I'm gonna ask you to reach out to the police chief and share that with him, okay?
Will do. Thank you.
Now, if this was somebody I had control over, then I would take action, but unfortunately, I don't.
I just wanted to be on record that these are the things that are happening in our community.
Okay, well, I appreciate you being on record, but you know I'm gonna send you to the right record, okay?
Fair enough. And
All
so
right. Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well then you will get your dismissal, but this is being dismissed for want of prosecution.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Have a
Thank you.
great.
You take care. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Next is Lori Gaston. Mr. Prosecutor, this too is a change of address, no Morgan. Office do you have any problems with this being dismissed for want of prosecution?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Gaston,
Yes, Your Honor.
your matter is being dismissed for want of prosecution. Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes, can you guys make sure you have it, please? Because the
We
FT,
will, all right,
whatever.
let us confirm it. Ms. Yates, are we able to confirm that we have Ms. Gaston's information?
I have it.
All right. So Ms. Gaston, you can disengage. So that takes
All right.
care of all of Morgan's cases. Now let's take care of the one case that Ms. Ida has.
Your Honor, that is on page 6.
Mr. Prosecutor, this is page 6 up at the very top. This gentleman is entering a not guilty plea to the traffic control device and the tag obscure, and this involves Officer Thicklin.
Judge, is Officer Thicklin available?
I do not see him here. He was sent the information though.
All right, he's not available, then we're going to dismiss this for one prosecution, Judge.
All right, he is not available at 9:21. This charge is being dismissed for want of prosecution. Can you please make sure that this gentleman has his name and email address typed in the chat so he can receive his dismissal?
Ok, señor Lugo, como no se encuentra presente el agente o la de policía que le dio la citación, entonces el juez decidió retirar los cargos, sobreseer los cargos. Entonces, pues no pueden proceder sin el oficial. Entonces, si usted por favor puede escribir su nombre completo y su correo electrónico en el chat para que le llegue este fallo de que han sobreseído los cargos. ¿Me está oyendo?
Sí, está bien.
Ok, entonces ponga su correo electrónico y su nombre completo en el chat, si no lo ha hecho.
Parece que ya está todo.
¿Ya lo puso en el chat? Okay.
Ahorita no. ¿Quiere que lo ponga? ¿Ahorita?
Claro, tiene que ponerlo ahora para que le llegue. Tiene que haberlo hecho desde un principio. Yo lo anuncié.
Ok, ¿cómo lo hago?
Pues se mete en el chat donde dice chat en la pantalla y ella escribe su nombre y se lo manda a FPMC. Abajo en la pantalla tiene unos iconos. Hay uno que aparece la cámara, el micrófono, luego hay uno que dice chat, C-H-A-T. O si puede, a veces le dice más, donde dice more o más, entonces puede
Sí,
apretar ahí.
ya miré uno que dice
Ese.
chatear 16.
Chat. Y entonces se aprieta, va a buscar uno donde diga, a veces le dice los nombres de todas las personas, busque donde dice FPMC.
Miss Ida,
Yes.
I just sent him a direct message that says send email address here.
Okay. Okay. Le acaban de mandar un mensaje a usted, entonces escriba ahí donde abre el mensaje que le llegó por el chat y escribe su correo electrónico ahí.
No me ha llegado ningún mensaje.
En el chat no le ha llegado un mensaje, en el chat del Zoom.
¿O en el chat?
Claro, en el chat del Zoom, revise.
A ver, espérame.
Do you want me to have him tell me the
His
email?
email address.
Ok, señor,
Yes.
dígame su correo electrónico, deletrémelo.
Es Oscar
Oscar,
Garibay.
espérese un momentico, Garibay, Garibay.
Sí.
Ajá, ¿qué más?
1777
Ok.
arroba
Ujú.
gmail.com.
Ok, son 3 7, ¿no? 1777.
Sí.
Ok, it is Oscar Garibay 1777 @gmail.com.
Thank you, I have it.
Okay,
Okay,
ya
he
lo
can-
tiene. Okay.
All right, he will be dismissed for want of prosecution.
Okay. Se puede retirar porque ya sobreseyeron los casos, se los retiraron.
Ok, está bien. Muchas gracias, juez, y muchas gracias a todos.
Okay, thank you very much, Your Honor. Thank you very much to everyone. Your Honor, may I be excused now?
You can.
Thank you. Have
All
a good
right.
day.
The next trial is Osegba Cokerson, and this is Officer Lewis. Ms. Cokerson, if I can please have everyone to please keep their videos turned on. And Officer Lewis. All right, Mr. Prosecutor, the officer is available and Ms. Cokerson is available. And Ms. Cokerson, you had some questions. Do you have any additional questions?
Yeah, so yeah, I'll wait for you to I don't know how this works. This is first for
So let me tell you,
Okay.
right now I'm about to swear everyone in, and then the prosecutor will call the officer to testify. Once the officer is finished testifying, you have the right to ask the officer questions. And then once they have rested their case, you have the right to tell me your version of what happened. And then you will rest your case. And after I've heard from both sides, I will make a decision regarding your guilt or your innocence. Do you understand that?
Okay, sir.
So that is the process. Do you understand that?
Okay, Judge. Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
All right. Everyone that's going to testify, if you'll please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, say I do.
I do.
All right, Mr. Prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Coker before the court because on March 26th of 2022, she received a citation for a stop sign violation. Officer Lewis was the officer who issued that citation. Officer Lewis, on the date in question, do you have an opportunity to come in contact with Ms. Cokerson?
Yes.
And was that contact within the city limits of Forest Park?
Yes, sir.
And are you a post-certified peace officer with arrest powers?
Yes, sir.
Can you briefly state the nature of that contact?
While sitting stationary in the area of Pine Ridge and Alder Drive, I observed a white and color, I believe it was a Kia, coming to the four-way. The vehicle failed to make a complete stop at a posted stop sign. I made contact with the vehicle from the rear, activated my emergency blue lights, initiating the traffic stop, made contact with the driver, and issued her a citation for failing to make a complete stop at a posted stop sign.
And Officer Lewis, you indicated that you were stationary at that location. Were you there for quite some time prior to seeing the vehicle driven by Mrs. Coker go through the stop sign?
Yes, sir.
And at any point, was your vision impaired from the stop sign from where you were located to be able to see the stop sign and or the vehicle that Ms. Coker was driving?
No, sir.
No further questions for this witness, Judge.
All right, Ms. Cokerson, do you have any questions you'd like to ask this witness?
No, I don't.
All right. Does the city have any other evidence?
City has no other evidence, Judge.
All right,
City
Ms.
rests.
Cokerson, the city has rested. Now you can tell me what happened. You're being charged with not coming to a complete stop at a stop sign.
Okay, so I remember correctly, I believe that day, of course, I wasn't feeling so good. So definitely I was driving very carefully and very slow, so to speak. So I did get to the stop sign. Usually I don't get all the way to the very marker, right? I got close to it and I stopped. Right. Usually when you get to a stop sign by default, I do the counts in my head, like 1, 2, 3 to 10, and then I move. So it was when I moved, I noticed, I was driving, I noticed like a vehicle behind me and I turned, you know how you look at your mirror, and I saw that. So I stopped. And then he walked over to me and said, he's stopping me because for the stop sign. And I made him understand, sir, I did stop. Not that I just decide to roll over and not stop. And then he said, I'd have to explain myself to the court. And that's the first time I'm getting stopped. That's the first time I'm getting a ticket. And I did explain to him, sir, I did stop. Maybe sort of like, you had a blood vision. Of course, I'm not going to argue with the police officer and say, okay, I said, okay, not a problem. I'll come to court and I'll explain to the judge my own side of the story. So I've never had a ticket before. This is my first. I was actually taken back because at the back of my mind, I kept playing that scenario over and over again in my head. I'm like, okay, I know it is stop. So I was sort of confused, right? So that's why I'm here again to explain my situation. I did stop. It wasn't a rolling stop, but then again, I can't argue with the police officer of the law. So I'll leave that to the judge. And of course, after that, I made the call because you don't know what the fine is till you call like a couple of days later, and I did make the call. Right, of course, also, I looked at my tickets, right, before I jump into that. I did look at my tickets and I realized he said the color of the Kia was white. I know the color of the car is silver, not white, right? So, and again, of course, I wouldn't argue and all that. So my stand is I did make a stop. And the tickets, having to call later on and hearing that the fine ticket is over $100 and something, George, I'm really shocked. Like, I try to understand, like, how is a stop sign ticket? I'm curious because I know I've seen people, of course, people I have interactions with, like, oh, what was your ticket? What was the price? And then I'm having to find out the ticket is over $100 and something. That's why I'm like, okay, I wanted to open the conversation for mitigation and all that because I don't know. Yeah, so that's what I think I have to say. What happened.
All right, well, let me see if the prosecutor has any questions he'd like to ask you. Prosecutor, are there any questions?
Yes. Can you hear me, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Cokerson, in reference to your pointing out the color of the vehicle on the citation, is that your signature on that document? Did you sign the citation when you were given it?
Yes, I did sign the citation. Yes, I did.
Okay, no further.
All right. Officer Lewis, is there a video of this incident?
Judge, there should be. Our vehicles did have cameras in them at the time the traffic stop. I am not sure if it was pulled or not, but there should be video.
Okay. All right. All right. So here's what I'd like to do. Ms. Cokerson, I want to see if there's a video of this incident, because oftentimes when people see the video, that's a little bit better than live testimony. The officer said you did not stop. You were convinced that you did stop. And if the video exists, it will let me know who is accurately depicting what happened on that day. And so I'm curious to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset this for sentencing for the next calendar. and I would have seen the video by then if it existed, and I will enter my ruling by the next calendar. So you will need to come back on for the next calendar. Do you understand that?
Okay, sir.
All
Judge,
right.
do you have an idea when this next calendar will be?
We have a calendar every Wednesday, so it'll be next Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
I do have a surgery planned for Wednesday, next week Wednesday, actually, that's the 19th. I have a surgery scheduled, so
All right. Then why don't we do it for the week after that? Why don't we do it for the week after that?
Okay, all right, not a
All
problem.
right. So what time is your surgery on Wednesday?
I don't have a date yet. I have a pre-op tomorrow, so that's when I'll know the dates for Wednesday. Because I have a pre-op tomorrow with the doctors, so they'll let me know the dates for Wednesday. But they've scheduled me for.
You mean they'll let you know the time for Wednesday?
Yes, sorry, the time for Wednesday. Yes.
Okay. Well, why don't we just reset it for 2 weeks out? That gives me even more time to look at the video. Let's reset this for 2 weeks out. I'd like to see if there's a video, and then I will enter a judgment on this, and we'll see you back here on the 26th. Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes, sir.
Do we have her information?
Yes.
All right, this will be reset for sentencing. All right, you can disengage, Ms. Cokerson. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, next, let's go to
Mr. Edison, Judge, we have Edison.
Who?
Edward Edison.
Yes. Let's go to Edward Edison. All right. And this is Officer Richard. All right, there's Officer Richard. Mr. Edison?
Yes, sir.
All right, everyone that's going to testify, will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
All right, make sure that everyone has their video turned on. All right, you can go ahead, Mr. Prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Edison is before the court because on April 3rd of 2021, he received 2 citations, one for a unlawful use of a wireless device. The other one would be for a tag charge. It looks like expired registration. Both of those tickets were issued by Officer Richard. Officer Richard, on the date in question, do you have an opportunity to come in contact with Mr. Edison?
Yes, sir.
Contact within the city limits of Forest Park?
Yes, sir.
And are you a post-certified peace officer with arrest powers?
Yes, I am.
Can you briefly state the nature of that contact?
Yes, sir. While I was sitting stationary on the 4300 block of Jonesboro Road, I observed Mr. Edison or Mr. Edwards driving southbound on Jonesboro Road. He had his cell phone to his ear. He was holding it in his right hand, and he drove past me, and I pulled him over, and after checking his tag, it returned with expired registration. And Mr. Edwards explained to me
when you
that
pulled
he
him over
couldn't-
and made,
Excuse me?
go ahead, officer. Go ahead.
He explained that he couldn't reach his Bluetooth device, and that was the reason he was holding his cell phone to his ear. And then he also explained that he had 3 other vehicles that he got registered, and that the vehicle he was driving, he wasn't able to get it registered because it didn't print out.
Okay. No further questions for this witness, Judge.
All right, is your first name Edison or Edward, sir?
Edison.
Okay, so your last name, Mr. Edward, do you have any
Yes, sir.
questions you'd like to ask Officer Richard?
No, that's basically what happened. My only concern was, I actually was headed to do feeding the homeless, and I was headed to Chick-fil-A, but I don't have no questions.
All right.
And my only concern is just I couldn't do anything about the machine. I've never had an issue with like my registration or anything. It didn't print it out, and I just thought, hey, the system is behind or whatever. But I don't have any questions for the officer.
All right. Does the city have any other evidence?
I've already.
No other evidence, Judge.
All right, Mr. Edwards, is there any evidence you'd like to present? Is there any testimony you'd like to make, sir?
No, sir. Everything was basic. My only testimony is like I just said with the machine. I had no control of that. The crazy thing is, after I got the ticket, a month or two later, I went to the machine and it printed it out. So I couldn't understand that part. Because I'm looking at the paperwork now. I got the ticket in April, and in June it says July, I think the 15th. I got the paperwork sitting right here. So I couldn't understand that part.
Okay. All right. All right. Does the city have any questions?
No questions, Judge.
All right. Both sides have presented testimony in this matter on the issue of the expired tag. The tag was expired. The fine amount for that is $150. That is a non-reportable offense, so it does not show on your record. On the charge of unlawful use of a wireless device, the court finds you guilty. That fine is $50. The total fine is $200. Mr. Edward, are you able to satisfy that in 2 weeks, or do you need a longer period of time?
I'll stop at the courthouse today on my way to work.
All right, sir, you have been found guilty of the offense. Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes, sir.
Do we have Mr. Edwards' information, Ms. Yates?
I have a question, Your Honor.
Yeah, just let me hold to make sure they have your email information.
Yes, I have it.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Edwards.
I guess my thing is, how am I found guilty if I did my part? Like, it's nothing that I could have done to like not get my other vehicles. Like, there's nowhere that somebody can go back and say, hey, he went to this machine and he did his part, but the machine just did not do its part. I feel like that's like I did what I was supposed to do. I've never had an issue with any of my registrations or insurance. So I don't see how like I'm being found guilty when I did my part.
Okay. Well, I respect the fact that you don't feel like you should have been found guilty for operating a vehicle that did not have proper registration after your birthday. So I do understand that you feel that way. Let me just say this to you, if this happens in the future. Driving, of course, is a privilege, and having multiple cars is even more of a privilege. All of your vehicles have to be registered by your birthday. That is the law. So when your birthday comes around, we have to register our vehicles. And if they are not registered, then there are consequences. Now, one thing the tag office does allow you to do is to pay the ad valorem tax before your birthday, so that if there is any problem, then you can deal with it after your birthday. So there are lots of options out there for you, including doing this online. So I don't know what happened, but the reality is at the time they stopped you, your birthday had expired. And so my explanation may not help you, but it is the ruling of the court. I have you down as paying the fine of $200. You will get your disposition no later than close of business tomorrow. But if you want to come by the court and pay the fine, that will close the matter out. They will have you to sign the plea form where you've entered a not guilty plea. You understand that, sir?
I do, Your Honor, but this was around COVID when the offices were closed. So
Okay.
there were actually nobody there to do, everything was done electronically. So if the offices are closed, you can't contact anybody, then how do I, like, I mean, there's nothing else I could have done. When you go to, there's like, oh, we're not taking anybody today. We're only taking appointments. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. We understand it's behind. So it's like, I did my part.
Okay. Well, sometimes you do your part, sir, but there's still consequences for it. So I don't want you to, you've told me I did everything that I felt like I could do, and I respect that. So I'm going to kind of leave it at what I told you and just offer to you that you may want to try the options that I outlined to you. and they were available during that time. All right.
Yes, sir.
Do we have, Ms. Yates, did we say that we had his information?
Yes, we have it. And
All right,
Mr.
Mr. Edwards, you can disengage from the call. Thank you, sir. All right, it looks like your next trial.
Excuse me, Judge.
Wait a minute. Your next trial is Jenny Pedroza. And I hear someone saying, excuse me.
Yes, sir. I just got in here. I was in court in Tennessee, and I was trying
Okay,
to
well,
check
let me
in,
have
so
you
I
to
won't get a
hold
bench
on
warrant.
until we get to the end of the calendar, all right?
All right.
Thank you. All right, let's go to Jenny Pedroza
Here, sir.
and Officer Lewis. All right. Mr. Prosecutor, everyone that is going to testify, if you'll please raise your right hand. Do you
Yes,
swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, you want to go ahead, Officer Lewis? Well, Mr. Prosecutor, I'm sorry.
No worries, Judge. I was going to interrupt and say that I don't have Ms. Pedroza's file in my list. Could I get the clerk to send me that really quickly?
And if
Oh,
you
I'm
want,
sorry. Nope. I have it. It's in a subsequent email. Hold on one
Okay.
second, Judge. Let me pull that up. Sorry, Madam Clerk. I didn't see it. It was in a secondary email that you sent me. Okay, so this is Officer Lewis's case. Your Honor, Ms. Pedroza is before the court because on March 30th of 2021, she received a citation for a stop sign violation. This citation was issued by Officer Lewis. Officer Lewis, on the date in question, do you have an opportunity to come in contact with Ms. Pedroza?
Yes, sir.
And was that contact within the city limits of Forest Park?
Yes, sir.
Can you briefly state the nature of that contact?
While sitting stationary at Pine Ridge and Alder Drive, I observed a vehicle, Toyota, I think, come to the four-way vehicle to make a complete stop at a posted stop sign. I made contact with the vehicle in the rear, activated my emergency lights, made contact with the driver, and issued a citation for failing to make a complete stop at a posted stop sign.
All right, and did she make any statements to you at that time that you can recall?
I can't recall offhand. I don't want to misquote her. I'm sure she may have said something, but I can't recall what it was.
All right, no further questions.
All right, Ms. Pedroza, do you have any questions you'd like to ask the officer?
No questions at this time.
Okay, does the city have any other evidence?
No, Your Honor, city rep.
All right, Ms. Pedroza, you can now present your case.
Yeah, so the day of the incident, I was actually coming from a park nearby and I had my daughter and my sister with me in the car. So coming to the stop sign, I stopped and I looked both ways. And then on my left-hand side, I did see the officer. So once I proceeded, I went to the light and then that's when the lights came on and I basically pulled over to somewhere safe because I do have my baby, which at that time she was 1, and I wanted to make sure I stopped somewhere safe. And then when I got pulled over, he mentioned about me not making a stop at the stop sign, but I do recall making a stop at the stop sign because, of course, I want to drive super safe when I have my baby in the car. And that's basically what happened at the day of the incident.
Okay, does the city have any questions?
I do not, Judge.
All right. Let me do this since this is a day of me pulling videos if they exist. I'm gonna reset this one for sentencing for the 26th as well. Let me get the video and look at it, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
So this one will be reset for the 26th at 8 o'clock. I will look at the video before then and I can announce my ruling at the beginning of the calendar.
Okay, sir.
All right?
Thank you, Judge.
Have you typed your name and email address in the chat, Ms. Pedroza?
I have.
All right, do we have Ms. Pedroza's email information?
Yes.
All right, so what we will do is on the 26th, before then, I would have reviewed the video and I will enter a judgment on Pedroza and the other young lady before we start court. All right?
Okay.
Thank you. You can disengage Ms. Pedroza.
All right. Have a nice day. Thank you.
All right.
And Your Honor,
Go ahead.
that was Officer Lewis. May he be excused?
Yes, Officer Lewis, you are excused. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Arthur Smith and Eric Conklin. You have the witness here.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Prosecutor, everyone that's going to testify, and Officer Das, if everyone will please raise their right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, say I do.
I do.
Thank you all. Go ahead, Mr. Prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Smith is before the court because on March 28th of 2022, he received a citation for failure to yield while entering the intersection. That citation was issued by Officer Dawes. Officer Dawes, I believe, is on. Yeah, there you go, Officer. Officer Dawes, on the date in question, did you have an opportunity to come in contact with Mr. Smith?
Yes.
And was that contact within the city limits of Park?
Yes.
Can you briefly state the nature of that contact?
Yeah, so I was dispatched to at the intersection of Forest Parkway and Phillips Drive in reference to an auto accident involving Mr. Smith and later identified as Mr. Conklin. Mr. Smith advised that the light was red when he turned. Mr. Conklin advised that he was coming across the train tracks, coming across from Forest Parkway and Phillips Drive when Mr. Smith turned out right in front of him. Mr. Conklin advised that he tried to swerve and miss, but he couldn't because they had vehicles that were in the left lane turning onto Forest Parkway, because if he would have caused a major accident, if he would have tried to swerve and move over. So that's why Mr. Smith was cited for failure to yield while entering intersection.
Okay. No further questions for this witness, Judge.
Mr. Smith, do you have any questions you'd like to ask the officer?
No, sir.
All right, you want to go to your next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The city would call Mr. Eric Conklin. Mr. Conklin, you've been previously sworn in. On the date in question, were you involved in a motor vehicle accident with Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
And was that accident, to the best of your knowledge, within city limits of Forest Park?
Yes, sir.
Can you briefly state the nature of the accident?
I was heading south on Phillips Drive, just crossing Forest Parkway 331 through a green light. Several cars in front of me had turned left, so I was the first one to go through the intersection. As I passed through the intersection, the red pickup truck came in from my right. As I went in, he pulled into my passenger side rear door. It was a very slow accident. There was no injuries. I tried honking my horn as I saw him pulling forward into me. I could not speed up to go through it. I could not avoid it through the left. All I could do is lay on the horn and then stop, hoping to minimize damage.
All right. Nothing further for this witness this time, Judge.
Mr. Smith, do you have any questions you'd like to ask Mr. Conklin?
No, sir.
All right, does the city have any other evidence?
No other evidence, Judge.
All right, the city rests. Mr. Smith, if you'd like to provide evidence, sir, you can.
Yes, sir. Well, actually, I was going, I guess that's south on Forest Parkway, and he was coming north on Forest Parkway, and I got to the red light, and I went to the right, like turned right, and he was coming from the other side, facing me. He turned left on the light with the caution light. You know how the intersection where it had a light with left turn, caution, and I was turning right, and he turned too. And the reason why his car wasn't dented and it wasn't no major wreck, the reason why it wasn't a major wreck at the intersection is because I was turning right, and as I was turning, he came too, and I stopped, and he on the side grazed the side of my truck. Like I didn't fail the yield. It wasn't a yield sign at the corner of Phillips and Forest Parkway. It ain't a yield sign to the right anyway, only for the left turn. But I did yield because you have to slow down to turn right anyway.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Prosecutor, do you have any questions?
Just briefly, Mr. Smith, let me make sure that I understood your testimony. You were turning right on a red, is that correct?
No, the light wasn't red.
The light was not red? I thought you just testified that you came up to the light and it was red.
I came to, no,
and
sir,
you
I ain't
proceeded.
say it was red. No, sir, I came to a red light, you know, just because that's what it's called, a red light, I guess. I mean, not that the light was red. I'm saying like I came to the signal, I guess, whatever you want, however you want. I don't know what it's called. That's what I always call it, the red light. Just, I mean, the light, period. I just came to the light at the intersection of Phillips and Forest Parkway. But the light wasn't red. I'm saying, but that's just what I call the red light.
Okay, all right, I just want to make sure I understood that. And Your Honor, if you can recall off.
Mr. Smith, what color was the light?
It was a green light.
Okay, all right.
Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Prosecutor, you can go ahead and call.
Officer Dodge, you wanted to clarify something about your testimony or add something, is that correct?
Yes, I do have body cam footage of Mr. Smith saying that the light was red. If sent it over to Miss Green.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and Andreas, I just emailed it to you.
So apparently
have it as well.
I have it up if you'd like for me to share the screen.
Yes.
Yeah, Judge, I understand that they're about to share the video. I just reviewed it. I don't know if you had a chance to it. I believe within the first 15 talking, he indicated the light was red.
Okay. It sounds like he's saying he just calls a traffic light a red light as opposed to the light actually being red. That's what I understood him to say in his testimony, but I do understand the inconsistencies.
Well, so Judge, on the video though, and I'm assuming we're going to be able to play that, the video, he actually says the light was red, not that he pulled up to a traffic light. He said the light was red.
I ain't never said a trip.
Okay, all right. Have you seen the video,
But,
Mr. Prosecutor?
Hold on 1 second. We'll get it.
I just.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I just watched it, Judge.
Okay.
It's not unmuted. One moment.
Okay, I just heard it. All right. Okay. Is there any other evidence that needs to be presented, Mr. Prosecutor?
No, Your Honor, that'll do it for us.
Okay. Mr. Smith,
Yes, sir.
you've entered a not guilty plea to the failure to yield charge. Based on the evidence, the court finds you guilty of the violation. The fine amount is $175. Is that something that can be paid within the next 2 weeks, sir, or do you need to be placed on probation?
No, I could pay it in 2 weeks.
All right. Do we have your email address?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can we confirm that we have his email address, Ms. Yates?
Yes, I have it.
All right. We will send him his plea, which he will enter a not guilty plea, and then we will send him his case disposition found guilty of this violation, and the fine amount is $175, and he will make this payment within 2 weeks to Forest Park. Do you understand that, Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Thank you for your testimony. Both of you all can disengage. Officer Dawes, thank you as well. You can disengage as well, sir.
All right, have a good one.
All right. Next we have is Sandy Williams. And this is Officer Estrada.
Yes, sir, I'm here. Sandy Williams here.
All right. Is Officer Estrada.
He is not here, but he was notified.
Okay. City have a motion on this case.
Yes, Your Honor, the city would move to dismiss for warrant of prosecution.
All right, Ms. Williams, this case will be dismissed for warrant of prosecution. Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes, sir, I have.
All right, if we have that information, you will receive the dismissal through your email. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, thank you. You can disengage.
All right, thank you all. Have a
Now, we
blessed
have a
morning.
couple of red speed, and I also see that we have some people that have come on late.
Judge, because you do the red speed yourself, I'm gonna go ahead and be en route to UC.
Yes,
That
well,
way I
let
can
me
get
see
that.
about Gary. Let me see about Gary Nixon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're charged with a tag charge, sir. What is your plea to this? You were late today.
What can I do to just have it pay it off in the next 3 weeks or something?
You can, that would place you on probation. If you want to pay it off for the next 2 weeks, I can give you a 2-week time to pay it.
How
Please
much
turn
would
your
it be?
video on. Turn your video on, and I hope that you're not operating a vehicle.
No, sir, I'm in the passenger seat.
Okay, what is your plea to this charge, sir? Not guilty, guilty, or no low contendere. This is a non-reportable offense, so it does not show on your record.
You could do guilty.
You understand that by entering into the guilty plea, you're doing this without the assistance of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Do you also understand that by entering into the plea that you're waiving your right to a trial?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering into the plea? Show your face, please, sir. Are you entering into the plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir. I can't really hear you like that. My phone's low. That's why I had it to my ear.
Then maybe you need to come to the courthouse physically.
I'm in Tennessee. I just had court in Tennessee.
I understand, but if your connectivity is not there, you need to show up in person. So the
Okay,
fine amount
I
is
hear you.
$150. What is your email address?
I sent it to the Forest. I sent it to the Forest Park Municipal.
All right. Do we have his email?
Yes, we have it.
All right, Mr. Nixon, we will send you your plea form to which you will enter a guilty plea. Can you hear that?
Yes, sir.
And then we will send you your 2-week agreement. Please make sure you made this payment within 2 weeks of $150. Do you understand that?
You can put me on probation.
All right, sir. Then you will be placed on probation for 12 months. Your probation will end automatically when this is paid. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
They have your information. You will receive your probation information through your email no later than close of business tomorrow. Please make sure that you comply so an FTA is not issued. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, you can disengage from the call.
Thank you.
All right. Now, it looks like we have a few red speed.
We have a Taiwan Bush on the line that came on. He's on page 3.
All right. We're going to need to reset that because that officer, I believe, has been excused. So we will reset this. Ask Mr. Taiwan Bush, turn your video on.
Hello?
Turn your video on, please.
Okay, I'm working on it. I just cut it on.
Okay, it's not showing.
Okay, give me a second.
So your officer has been excused. What is your plea to this charge?
Not guilty, sir.
All right, we're going to set you down on a reset court date. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll stay on the line. They'll get your email address. They'll be back to you momentarily. Stay on the line. Type your name and your email address in the chat and send it to Forest Park Court Services. Do you understand that?
I'm not really computer savvy like that, sir. So I'll stay online. I'll give it to him verbally. Because it's very simple. It's bushtaiwan@yahoo.com.
Okay, well, I will let you deal with the court regarding that. But normally on your device, you'll see the word chat and you can do that, but I'll let you deal with court personnel after we've done the red speed case. All right, Miss, do we
Yes,
have
sir.
one red speed case?
Yes, we do. It's
Do we have
Latoya.
any other matters other than Mr. Bush that are on this morning's calendar?
No.
All right, wonderful. And Ms. Green, we've taken care of everyone in the courtroom.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Wonderful. Well, let's deal with Ms. Woods. If we can please pull up her paperwork. Ms. Woods?
Yes.
You are before the court on a red speed case. You've received this citation. It is a computer generated citation, and this is a civil violation and not one that goes on your driving record. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So the allegation here is that on August 12, 2022 at 3:06 p.m., you're accused of, it looks like it is a school zone violation. So if they can scroll this down a little bit, I can see what type, is that your vehicle?
Yes, sir.
And were you operating the vehicle on that day?
Yes, sir.
Let me have you to please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm all testimony you're about to give, Ms. Woods, is true and correct based on your information and belief? If so, say I do.
I do.
All right, so my job is simply to determine if you have violated the school zone violation from a civil perspective. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, you've told me that the vehicle belonged to you and you've told me that you were operating the vehicle. What would you like to say about this matter?
My thing is where I live at, I live on Alder and Sycamore. Now, we do have a sign that says, school zone photo enforcement. But when I make that right turn to go on Ash Street, I can't see if there's a flashing light. Like, I don't have no kids that's in school, so I don't pay attention to really none of that. That's really the honest truth. So I don't know that school is in zone or getting out, or whatever the case may be, because the flashing light signal that they have is on Ash Street only. So if I'm coming up Sycamore to make that right on Ash Street, I don't have no way of knowing that I'm even pursuing a 25 zone speed limit due to that school is in session. So my thing is, I always go that way. Any way that I go, because where my house is directly on Alder and Sycamore. So either way I go, whether I go left or I go right of Ash Street, I always take Sycamore to go in any direction. So how do, as us as the community that live here in this area, how do we know, when that flashing light is, on, for us to even know, I would have to go all the way around just to know if there's a flashing light on, you know, for me to stay in a 25 zone speed limit. I just feel like it's unfair for us not to know. I understand they have a sign there, but is it possible that they can have also something flashing in front of that sign to let us know coming from Sycamore that we're getting ready to, you know, go in a school zone? What happens if I wasn't from here? Like, there's no way for no one to even know. Even if we're not from here, they wouldn't even know, because the light is on Ash Street and nothing on Sycamore. But
Okay.
that sign.
Okay. So it sounds like what you're saying is where you enter the main road, although you live at this house, how long have you been living at this location?
I've been here, I think 6 years, and I think we just got this light system up maybe within, it should be like maybe a couple of months now. I believe it's been up there because I got a ticket before it. I didn't, because we never had it, so I didn't know. So they excuse me for that time.
Oh, it's been up for a minute. Yeah, it's been
Yeah,
up
so now it's
for a
been up.
minute, but I guess what you're saying is, okay, all right. So I'm trying to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying, but your position is where you enter the main road, there is nothing that puts you on notice that it's a school day and a school time.
Correct.
Okay.
Unless I'm coming from Ash Street and that light is flashing, then you are aware of it. But coming from Sycamore, making a right turn, you can't see it because where the light is right there on Ash Street and Sycamore on that pole. So when you're making a right turn, you can't see if the light is flashing or not.
Sure. Okay. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Ms. Woods?
No, sir.
Okay, so based on what you have said, and this is a civil violation, which puts the standard a little bit lower than whether or not this was a motor vehicle violation. So the standard is either preponderance of the evidence or clear and convincing. So as a driver, if you know that there is a school in the area and it's a school day, we do have a heightened level of responsibility to make sure that we comply with the school zone speed. And I would say, to the extent you've been living there for 6 years, you should at least be aware that there is a school there and that I may very well be driving down the street on a school day, especially if it's Monday through Friday. So based on what you said and based on the citation, the court does find you civilly guilty of this offense. The fine amount is $125. They have information on there as to how to pay it, and you do not pay this to the court. You pay this through the mechanism that they have on here. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So if you'll read through that and comply, then that will close this matter out. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. They have your information, so if it doesn't take place, they will reach back out to you. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
How long do I have to pay? When do I need to pay it? I need to pay it
go ahead
today.
and take care of it very soon. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Do we have anyone else?
No, we've already gotten Taiwan Bush's information.
Okay.
So you're free to go. And
So-
I just got a notification from probation. We were going to have VOP revocations, but nobody